Hadouken! Shoryuken!
Welcome, everybody. We are back for another episode of the EX DPodcast. I got myself, Jimenez, and Nugget here for this evening, and we are just kind of first go over some of the brackets for Combo Breaker at the current moment. So, looking at top 24, let's see. Just a Kid lost to J Rush. Oh, okay. So, considering that he was carrying for the Midwest. Flaquito got beat out as well. Wow. Neff, you got beat out. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, shit. What's his name? Arturo got beat out right here.
Dude, I wanted to see Ghost Chips make this underdog story because he came from New Zealand just to
wow,
make it all the way to top
24 at least.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
OG Yon, he's in our Discord actually. He lost to Arturo. That's kind of. Dang, I'm surprised.
That's a matchup.
Yeah. Who does Ghost Chips play?
Bison.
Bison. Okay. Is that a favorable matchup for Bison then?
Good question. I have no idea.
You know what? Let's take a look at the what is it? Street Fighter V matchup. Let's see. I know there's a no, not that one.
Bison versus who? Sorry.
Sim.
Sim. Okay.
That one seems kind of funky. Like I know Bison can just kind of get past stuff.
From the highest, I'm looking at the what's going on, Deadless. I'm looking at the Capcom, I guess, data for people that actually play their characters on their website, and I'm looking for the Grandmaster and Warlord. So let's see. Okay, Dawson's at the top. So overall, he's one of the top 3 characters, at least from people that are playing him in the Grandmaster and Warlord, like his win percentage.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look for the Bison. Okay, Bison is right there. It says he's favorite. It says Dawson favorable by 5.3. 5.389, almost 5.4. Yeah, Oro for sure, Scott. Oro's pretty crazy. Yeah, Yamcha for sure. Bison is in that matchup, at least for against Dawson, unfavorable. So my characters that I play, I think Sagat I last saw was like a 5.0. Yeah, or 4.9. Okay, and then my dude Kage, where he's at, he was bottom 6. I know that for sure. Where is it? Has he moved up? Where's Kage? Wow, he actually got up to 5.0. So I used to see he was bottom 6 when I last looked at it. Oh, what? Grandmaster. Okay, Diamond World. Maybe I was looking at that. Yeah, there he is. Bottom 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So that's what I was looking at. I didn't even see this Grandmaster and Warlord one. So let's see. Dawson with the Diamond to Warlord. That matchup. Let's see. Where's Bison? Bison.
Like how Fong has the highest win rate.
And this Diamond to Warlord, yeah. In the Grandmaster Warlord, he's probably fallen off a little bit. Yeah, it seems so.
I think but with Fong, I feel like it's definitely or the players being character specialists as well as just I think doing so well online and being such a just kind of he's naturally gimmicky, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Even though it's all a lot of it's real and you have to respect it, but you don't because you're I don't see this character, I don't care for him.
Yeah. So it seems like obviously Dawson should be winning that matchup. So it's crazy to see that Arturo lost to a Bison.
I think it's because more I would say because Bison just doesn't have reversal option for maybe teleport mix and stuff like that without using resource, and he needs the resource to kind of get in and be there right in his face because of slow walk speed, but I'm sure once Bison's in, you know, but it takes probably so long. The guy takes 10 years to take one step.
Yeah. No,
Same with Sim, but at least he can hit you while you're trying to walk at him.
So Rob beat Kudo and then lost to Minna. Okay, that's understandable because Minna's pretty solid. And then Minna beat Punk. Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That's wild. I guess Punk hasn't really been like. It seems like he hasn't been trying too hard for Street Fighter. He's been playing more for fun.
Yeah, I think Mena as well. He's always been just really like, I think very serious about his gameplay, and also when it comes to like maybe doing a few having like some characters on the side, some pocket characters to work around maybe unfavorable matchups that he usually has against those players. And since he's played against them like 5 billion times, he definitely got like a strat going on.
So out of this top 8, Idom, Shine, Mono, Kaba, Filipino Man, Up to Snuff, Chris, CCH, and Mena, who do you think's gonna win? I mean, Idom. I think it might. I don't know. He's just too good.
Yeah.
I think if it's gotta be between like Mena and Idom. I'm sure. That's what I feel. Idom's still like godlike like player, I think. But like I said, like Mena just has all those extra characters to just kind of get something going down.
Because he's got a nice birdie. He's got a nice Sakura. I think he plays another couple characters at a pretty good level as well.
He played Luke today against Punk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who did Punk play?
Like, he's all in to win, you know what I'm saying? And like
Punk.
Idom, I just feel like Idom, like he knows the game really well. Like he's been through it all. Like especially, like I don't think you could throw anything at him that he wouldn't be surprised about.
Yeah,
for
sure.
sure.
He's just such a consistent player as well.
Yeah, for sure. Shine, I haven't even seen Shine playing in a hot minute. Like I haven't seen that name like anywhere, but except for the NLBC whenever that was going on. Obviously that falling off. What do you think? There's going to be another East Coast, I guess online tournament that's going to kind of step up and take its place since Spooky isn't running it.
I think it's hard to say. Like I know, I feel like that would be on like somebody would have to be willing to put in all that extra effort and time for that, I think. And then just to like deal with maybe because like what I read or whatever was that it was just like there was also some issues that came up at the end or whatever. But I think I mean I don't even think that was such a big deal, because I see a lot of people now just kind of running a tournament just to have people from all over play and do whatever, but to make it like huge and big without having some kind of issue would probably just be a pain in the neck, and I don't think it would be really worth it, especially right now when more info about Street Fighter 6 might come out.
I think another big thing that is killing online tournaments with payouts is because of the licensing shit that Capcom put out back months ago. That really took people that were putting their all into getting these online events going and just kind of stopped them. Like even for me, I try and go by the books and I try and put in a schedule. Like if I know we're going to have tournaments on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to put, okay, Tuesday, I'll do it the day of. I'll go to that licensing thing. I could even kind of show you what it looks like. And I pretty much legit set it up just so that way if they ever try and take a look into what I'm doing, they have access to it and they can't blacklist me or mess me up for whatever reason. License. Let's see. License agreement. Yeah, okay, so this is kind of what it looks like. There's a whole bunch of reading, blah blah blah. Oh wait, no, not that one. Okay, community license. There it is. Oh man, this is like a thing just going over it. That's not what I want. It pretty much just, you go in, you here it is. You go to North America. I usually just kind of skim through all this shit and then go down. These are logos and what you can use and how to use them.
Yeah.
I don't even use the logos, honestly. I'm just like whatever. But you enter in the event name. I would put my name, my Hypnosis, put my first name, email, where the event location is, my house online, the event date, platforms. I put the stream link for Twitch, prize pool. I'll put whatever, $0 if nobody's on line, or $100 or $75, whatever it is that I put about myself. 0 sponsored money, 0 contributions, blah blah blah. And then additional notes. I don't even write additional notes. I just say check that you submitted it, and I submit it, and I go from there. It's really fairly easy. But the issue is there's stipulations on, prize pool, payouts, all that stuff. I think it's only a $2,500 payout per event, and you can only have, I think, 10 events like that to that degree. Or $10,000
for like a month or for like a year.
Or the year. I think $10,000 payout is the year amount that you can do. Now, if Capcom would get behind their community and like not only maybe even help with some funds here and there, but help with like promoting their shit, because like y'all know me, I host shit every single week. I don't need anybody to help me out with that in that regard, but it would be so cool to have your stream displayed on an official Capcom website or promoted to a whole bigger audience that never even knew. Like, because I can only imagine there's so many people that want to get involved in a community and might not even know. The New Challenge Discord is a really great established Discord. And for a hot minute, they weren't doing anything tournament-wise. I would even ask, hey, any tournaments going on? And they would say, nope. So I'm like, all right, sweet. I'll do my own thing. I'll kind of set up my own tournaments and, have fun with it like that. But imagine having a pool of people of that magnitude, because I'm sure, how many people would y'all actually say probably, is there a way to even check to see how many people play on online, like during a week or during a month or whatever for Street Fighter? Let's see.
You might be able to check the Steam charts, but that doesn't give like the whole picture because there's people still playing on PlayStation.
I think they also have it. I think like on the actual like Street Fighter CFN thing. I'm not sure though, but I feel like I might have seen something like that.
There's a chart right here.
Yeah, there's people online.
Okay, so here we go. Last 30 days, almost 4,000 players is peak. I wonder if that's like a daily basis thing. I wonder if that's a daily basis thing or what. But it shows some of the amount of people that were playing. So last 30 days, so it's a monthly thing. All right, so one of the biggest months was March 2022. I'm not sure why, but another one was August 2021. Another one was April 2021, and then we have February 2021 had 8,000 people playing. That was peak.
Those were all the drop dates of stuff.
Yeah, updates. Yeah, for sure. 2021 February was when the update was for the new update. I think whenever Dan came out and all that shit.
Yeah, Dan and V Shift.
Yeah,
that was a big one.
Yeah, for sure. That was Dan and V Shift. This one was it November, right? Was when Luke came out. That was a 5,400 peak player. Let's see. Yeah, so the next month was March of this year. Did something? Oh, the update, the final patch update, right?
Yeah,
I think that would have been around March, if I'm not mistaken. So it had 6,000 players. But yeah, a couple thousand players. I wonder if there's anything that you can check on like other gaming sites as well, or, like other fighting games like Tekken. Let's see. No, wait, what was the thing that I used? It was Steam charts. Okay. I wonder if you can change games in here. Tekken 7. Yeah, you can. Okay, so they've actually got to jump more than us. I would imagine June and July had different characters come out because that's 12,000, 11,000. Huh. Yeah, but they've got a decent amount more players on a regular basis than Street Fighter. But moving along on to the next topic after we kind of went over that. So yours, Jimenez, who do you think is going to win? Combo?
I kind of have two thoughts, right? I have, the people who I want to win, and then there's people who I think are likely going to win. Of course, that's going to be, I think IDOM or Mena RD are going to be the ones to kind of like compete for that prize. But I'd like to see either Mono, Kaba, or Filipino Man win if they can. That's what I'd like to see win.
Who you want to win? Who you think is going to win? If you had to put money on it.
Me? I would say IDOM.
Nugget?
Yeah, I think because I'm just like thinking like I remember also watching the what's it called, the Street Fighter League stuff, and like I definitely just feel like IDOM only loses to maybe those guys who are like from some other place in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's just got it under, like, as long as he doesn't get like played with something weird. Like if it was like an underdog pick, I think I'd pick like Cobb or something. I think I like how he's been playing.
I'm gonna have to go with Idom. He's just super good. He won a shit ton of NLBCs whenever he was playing, whenever those were going on. So to me, Idom he's just super dominant. All right, so moving on to the next one. Do y'all think pop-offs are needed? Do you think they're legit something that needs to be done in the scene or anywhere in fighting games, or do you think they're unnecessary?
I think pop-offs. I feel like it's just one of those things. Like you're kind of like when you're just kind of playing. I think it just automatically sort of happens.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, maybe it's not necessary for something, but I feel like when you just kind of do something really like, I don't know, like let's say you won or something, right? Or one of these events or something like that. You just really would feel kind of just energetic and exhilarated.
Oh yeah,
and you just wanna like you have like nowhere else to put it besides just expression, you know?
Yeah.
So I think there are some that are like maybe like if someone would in a disrespectful way, that would be bogus. Like
because I've seen a lot of disrespectful pop-offs. Yeah.
I think most of the people who pop off are just, they're really just glad that they were able to just kind of secure something that meant a lot to them.
I don't know if y'all saw, but Chris CCH had a pop off where he would this was at Kumite in Las Vegas, where he would pull out people's pictures from whatever little manila folders that he had, pull it out and rip up their faces whenever he would beat them in the tournament. To me, definitely not needed. That type of stuff, that's just a little too extra. Like you said, I agree. Somebody getting excited, like, winning, I definitely fully get it. But people that are disrespecting, man, I can only see why that would happen if, people are talking mess online back and forth for whatever reason. Maybe they have some, history to some degree. But I feel like it shouldn't necessarily happen unless there's a reason for it, unless it's warranted. Like I said, somebody disrespect you beforehand, talking all that mess, and then you have to show them what's up. Cool, I get it. Nugget, Jimenez, what do you think on the topic?
Personally, I feel like there's a time and a place for it. Like Nugget Dude said, I totally agree with him, right? However, like, I feel like you kind of need to read the room a little bit, right? Like, let's say you're a pro player, like someone like Punk, you're always beating like the top players and everything like that, and you're like in pools playing against this, poor nobody, right? It'd be super rude to pop off just for being this poor nobody.
That's true.
So you gotta kind of like read the room a little bit, I would say.
No, I definitely get you on that one. And like I said, everybody's always able to do whatever they want. I think it's super necessary for people to react how they want to react. But just the disrespectful thing, I think it's super distasteful to some degree. I've seen a lot where one in Mortal Kombat. I've actually seen a few in Mortal Kombat 11. But it's definitely part of gaming. It's definitely part of gaming.
I feel like if they're gonna settle some beef, it should be in the game and only in the game, really.
For sure, 100%. I guess now moving along, and I think this is a topic that would benefit everybody. But again, on the tournament side, on the TO side, the organization side, it might be something hard to do. Do y'all think tournaments should invest in better equipment? Having PCs over console games, or do you think the accessibility of the consoles outweighs the, I guess, headaches and situations for PCs?
Personally, in a perfect world, I would say yes. Like, I think tournaments should have the better equipment. Like, they should have PC setups and stuff like that, right? Because Street Fighter V on PlayStation, it's almost like different. Everybody talks about it, how it's like it feels worse playing PS4 offline than it does PC online, right? So I think it's in a perfect world, like I said, I think it's better for the TOs to get that better equipment. That way, there's no input delay of any sort, or there's no any inconsistencies with the game, right? Like, you notice that during this offline event, they were all playing on the grid, and that's because the PS4 really can't handle any other stage because it starts to drop frames.
That's
Right?
crazy, man. That's
Even offline, which
that
is
is
crazy to
insane.
me, right? However, realistically, who really has the money to buy all those PC setups? That's the thing, right?
Yeah. I mean,
So
would that be the option of maybe having somebody that you could rent out, like a PC? So let's say anybody that would have a PC and would want to rent it out, that would be allowed to, maybe you could offer an incentive, maybe it's a cash type thing or, something else. But
mhm.
do you think it would be easier for tournament organizers to get their hands on PCs that regard, or should they just go ahead and do what they have to do with consoles?
Uh, even with that, I still think it would be difficult to get PC setups everywhere, right? I think if it was like a smaller tournament, like an invitational, like a top 16 or something like that, then that would be fine, right? But for like a major like that, for Evo or something like that, no, I don't think that's. I think that's a lot of money, honestly.
Yeah. Nugget, what's
Something
your
that the FGC doesn't have.
yeah Nugget?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, it's definitely like Jimenez is saying. Like in a perfect world, you'd be on a PC. Like I play Street Fighter on PS4, and like I've done every single tiny thing that I can to adjust the PS4 to just like make sure that I could even play like consistent and well, like going from like even upping like a new router, all this shiz, and getting like an actual monitor. I used to play on a TV, and that was god awful. Like I'm seeing G throw out a move 10 minutes later, and I'm like, man, like what is going on? And I played on PC, and I'm legit like Neo, and I can see the numbers, like I can see frames. Like it just there's such a big difference. And especially for fighting games, like I always tell that to like a lot of my friends and stuff, where I'm just like, fighting games are so different from anything else, where a connection and all kinds of extra stuff, like you have to be down to like the most specific stuff to make sure everything like works well.
Yep.
And it's just like a pain, like it's such a pain to like have an input get like 8 or just something doesn't work out because of like the most minuscule thing, and usually it is because of console or connection or whatever. And yeah, like offline events, I've played a few where where they did have well, actually all of them have all been on console with whatever monitor that they might have, and you're connected to it, and yeah, it feels like it doesn't feel like you're playing your best either, because of that. Like you feel like you're kind of held back. But it's just it's definitely just accessibility, and they're just easy to get, and there's enough to just put around everywhere.
Yeah, because imagine, like, let's say you're Evo and you're trying to get your hands on PCs. You don't have to just worry about Street Fighter. You have to worry about Tekken, Guilty Gear, every other single game that you're running at the event to try and make it as fair as possible. Because imagine having one setup for one game only, or two games only, and not for the other games. That would be pretty bad in my opinion. But I think if they would have, let's say, incentives for players bringing their own PCs to have them as setups, and like making that something that could be possible, and having, I don't know, some incentive towards it, I think that could be an option. I think it could be something. Now, lucking that shit around, that would be a fucking mission. That would, be something like risking the durability of it, and also like if it's gonna work whenever you get to there and it sets up, and maybe something gets fried or whatever. That would be horrible. So it would definitely make it hard to do that. But at the same time, if they could get their hands on PS5s, maybe that would be better. I don't know. It's just hard to say.
I heard that the PS5 version of Street Fighter is worse
Really?
than the PS4 version. Yeah, there's like more input delay.
Wow, that's insane. Because I have a couple PS5s, and when I was playing on it before I got my PC situated, I didn't really feel anything crazy, bad about it. So I was like, okay, I like the game. It's fun. But then again, I'm trash, so don't take what I say for granted. Or don't take.
Of, I think with the Japanese players, they actually I think what they said also is that they prefer like playing online compared to like offline events
Yeah, wow.
with all this
that's
stuff like
surprising.
that. Because like they're just like they're so accustomed to it now, especially after like
COVID.
just streaming constantly and like all of the pandemic stuff. Like it just made it so much. They've grown accustomed to how they play, and it feels basically if they were sitting next to the other person, just without being over there. And you have all your personal things, and you're kind of just in your element, without going to whatever. And they prefer it like way more, and they've played a lot of events like that as well, where they're just like it works out because everyone has their good connection, their PC, everything, all their specs, everything to the best that they can have it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I agree. And Yamcha in the chat is saying that in Japan they have very good connection, and I think a reason why that is because it's a fraction of the size of the United States. So they got people in so much closer vicinity than we do here in the States. Now, again, if Street Fighter 6 really ups the ante and puts it, with rollback netcode and it runs super freaking smooth and there's no issues, then I think online could possibly become like the go-to, versus offline, because you probably get more entrants, especially if it has good connection, and if there's more consistent tournaments on a weekly or monthly basis, that's only going to help with people like showing up regularly and knowing, oh shit, this week we got this month we got this, whatever the case may be. So I mean, hopefully at some point, I'm sure they'll still have offline events. I don't think they'll ever go away, but I think online events could be the possible future, in my opinion. But we'll see.
Yeah, that'll definitely depend on how the
rollback,
the companies make their online.
Yeah, because imagine, like, let's say we could have like a whole U.S. tournament, and then whole North America tournament, whole South America tournament. They could have their own regions, and then you could have like one offline event or two offline events or however many offline events with the winners or the top players in those regions to go to one grand final type of offline event. That might work. That might be a little bit better. But all that of course is dependent on the companies making the games, if they can execute the netcode for it. But moving along, I know I had recently seen, and I posted it in our little group, of the June 13th, 2022. There's supposed to be a Capcom game reveal. It's an event that's going to reveal games. Have y'all seen anything with that, or have y'all checked anything out with that I posted?
Not at all.
So pretty much, supposedly on June 13th, and I'm not sure of this source, a guy named Robert Serrano. June 13th, I guess 2:30 Pacific time, which will be 5:30 Eastern time in the afternoon. They're supposed to be showcasing Resident Evil Village. There's like a story expansion for that. Resident Evil Verse. I'm not even sure what that would entail, but maybe I don't know. We'll see. Supposedly they're supposed to show Street Fighter 6, and they have that in the list of things for that game event. Which, if they could show Street Fighter 6 on June 13th in the beginning of summer, that's a fucking huge way. Like, that would change a lot of, in my opinion, the rest of the year for Street Fighter 6. Because I think a lot of people speculate it's going to be next year, or even worst case scenario, year after next. If they can have the full release or reveal of the game in June, that would mean, in my opinion, it could be optimal or ideal to have a demo version of the game a couple months later, September, October, maybe November, December area, and then maybe start another closed beta or open beta demo of it in early January, February, and then a full release out March, which is what I'm expecting. I'm thinking like late February, maybe March of next year. That's when the game should release. It's possible.
Yeah.
So if we can have something like that, that would be sick. I mean,
that would be really great. I've also, I just wanted to go off of what you were saying with like a beta. I know that Street Fighter had I think 3 or 4.
Oh really?
For Street Fighter 5.
And how long was that process, that timeline? How many were there in between, however many months or whatever?
They had it was interesting because I think I remember I forgot why, but I think they had they even did like weird like funky adjustments during the beta as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like to make it like delay the game, but like I'd rather have them like do beta testing and stuff like that, so that way if they needed to wait for the game, like I wouldn't mind if they delayed the game, like if they had a set time for Street Fighter 6,
Mm-hmm.
but if they delayed it to finish it up and like clean it up to avoid like what happened when Street Fighter 5 came out, then like it would it'd definitely be worth it. But I'm also I'm really hoping for good stuff because of how their whole creative direction is on it, and their new the new people overseeing the development of the game, compared to before, and how they just wanted it to market as like a whole esports game, and they've seen how far it's gone, and I think they've also picked up from like all the love that I feel like Season 5 got for Street Fighter 5. Like this last season, I felt like a lot of people enjoyed it like a lot, and it was because the people who were working on the game really put time and effort into it with as much, like even with like less time than the people who were already on it.
Yeah.
And they were able to bring out so many good things.
Mm-hmm.
Jimenez, what do you think? Do you think June 13th for the Capcom event game day? Do you think that would be something that could be potential? I've never seen any Capcom event, so I'm not sure. But I was honestly expecting Evo to be the reveal for Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I know they mentioned when they revealed the Street Fighter 6 trailer, they mentioned that more news in the summer of this year, right?
Technically, June is summer.
Yeah, that is true, right? I didn't expect it to come this early, right? This could be the case where we do see news around this time. Like you mentioned, I don't know of any Capcom, showcase like that. Kind of how Nintendo does their own Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Right? I don't recall Capcom doing such a thing, right? So who knows if that's a thing, right? Then, if it happens on June 13th, then who knows? We'll likely see some Street Fighter news.
Yes.
I think they did do something last time. It's like what is they call it like the Capcom show or something. I forgot. It's so weird. Like they might have not, or at the Capcom Tokyo Game Show. Sometimes they do that too, or maybe that's at later dates.
So
but what the Street Fighter thing, I don't know if they did say summer. If it's not June 13th, it might be sometime maybe later June 26th, or even July. But like, I'd rather have it like, that would be really interesting if it was. But I also remember them like tweeting about how they really want to engage with the community and let people know, because a lot of the time for Street Fighter 5, it was just like people were just left in the dark until something showed up barely, and then boom, here's this update, and then everyone's like, oh, okay. Wow, we were waiting and nothing.
So the trailers, it's already been 3 months, maybe even closer to 4 months, since they gave us that little baby sneak peek of that Street Fighter 6 reveal. Let's see, from then up until June, it'll be close to 5 months or so. That's a decent amount of time. Now, I know one other game that kind of was pretty cool that showed at least a very little bit of the game was Project L. Did you ever get a chance to watch that?
I did watch that, yeah.
Nugget, you said you did, right?
I saw a little bit of Project L.
You want to take a glance at it real quick?
We've made some great progress, and while the game is still too far out to commit to a release date, it's been a bit since you heard from us, so I want to bring you up to speed on what we've been working on. From the beginning, we knew that we wanted to make a 2D fighter set in the universe of Runeterra, but the 2D fighting space is pretty broad. Even from that starting point, there were a ton of different directions we could take the game. After lots of exploration, we're excited to say that we've landed on a direction that we're pretty pumped about. In this quick update, we'll walk you through our high-level approach when it comes to core gameplay, character design, and netcode. But first, allow me to reintroduce Project L.
That looks so sick.
Yeah, what's his character's name? The dude with the sword?
Echo is his name.
Echo, yeah. He looks sick as fuck, honestly,
He does.
in the trailer.
For 100%, man. Just his character design that they did, he looks super cool. Super cool.
So this is like a 2v2 fighter thing, right?
Well, it seems like either an assist or a tag style. They haven't really fully they haven't really fully unveiled what they're gonna do with it, but it seems like maybe a tag style at the very least, or I'm sorry, an assist style at the very least. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That character
going on
reminds me
forever.
of Manat.
Project
Kinda,
Now will be an
with the
assist-based fighter. You'll build and pilot a team of 2 different champs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
for
feel
sure,
like this is the
Scott.
right foundation to build a game that rewards strategic
Interesting.
team building and on-the-fly decision-making on top of strong fighting fundamentals. Our goal is to build a game that delivers a fast-paced, dynamic combat
setups.
fantasy while leaving plenty of room for you to be creative and express yourself in gameplay. Like a lot of you out there, we're inspired by the insane outplays, hard reads, and 200 IQ plays behind some of the most iconic moments in fighting game history.
Yeah, I like the
The
color.
dream for us is to deliver a game
The art
that
style's
allows
so
you
sick.
to create new iconic moments for many years to come. Now let's talk about controls. I know that a lot of you have strong opinions about mechanical difficulty in fighting games. For Project L, we're embracing the easy to learn, hard to master mentality. So yes, we are making it easier to jump in with a new character and learn their basic kit. That said, we absolutely believe in rewarding the time you spend going deep on a character and providing opportunities for you to showcase your high-end mastery. One of the delights of fighting games is seeing top players move and fight in a way that's inspiring and distinct from lesser skilled players.
Damn, that looks so
We want to
sick.
set that aspirational summit and build a steadily increasing difficulty curve to get you there. This isn't about building a game where new players have a chance to be the pros. It's about unlocking the fun at all skill levels. Character design, of course, plays a huge role in this. For characters, our goal is to deliver on the iconic moves that League champions are known for, but adapted to work in a fighting game. We want our champs to have powerful, flexible kits
All
that give you
characters
the
look so
freedom to play
cool.
your character your way.
And just the art style looks
As an
really,
example,
really, really
I'm
cool.
thrilled to introduce you to Echo, re-envisioned for Project L.
Did y'all get a chance to watch the show on Netflix?
No, I have not. Mm-mm.
Man,
Me neither.
it's so good. The art style is so amazing, man. I can't even oh, it's so good. But yeah, that's kind of like the game. It looks so freaking sick, honestly. I think that game's gonna do a lot of good, honestly. I hope it brings new people to the game, or to the scene, I guess you could say.
I think it's going to be free to play too.
if it
knowing
is,
Riot.
whoo,
Yeah.
sheesh.
Because Riot's games have always been free to play. League of Legends, Valorant. What's the other one? That's the League of Legends spinoff.
Scott wants
I
to see the
forget.
rest. Scott wants to see the rest. He wants to say, wait, let's stop the podcast. Let's see the rest.
Echo is a punk
I
genius.
think, I mean,
He's a brilliant
yeah,
inventor
I mean,
who,
if it's
through time
free to play,
manipulation,
there's a
can
good
rewind his own
chance it's
mistakes
free to
and
play.
stay one
I
step
might
ahead
try
of
it
his
out a little
opponent.
bit. Like, I'm
The
sort of getting
centerpiece of
Guilty
Echo's
Gear
kit
vibes
is
from
his
the
Chrono Strike.
controls.
Yeah.
Like
It's a forward-moving
controls.
slash that's a pretty good
Basically,
poke
that's what
and a
it
combo
looks
editor.
like.
Yep.
But
When
also,
Echo
I
slashes
think
with
the-
Chrono Strike,
I haven't
he
really
generates an
given
after
like
image
the
that he
whole
can
like
rewind back to anytime
tag
in the
battle
next few
things a
seconds of the
chance
match.
since like
You
Street
can
Fighter
use the
X
rewind to
Tekken.
double down on your first slash, make a different choice, and branch into a high to
But
middle
I don't
launcher.
know.
Echo works just fine as a mid-range zoner,
because
but it
or
really
anything
comes
that has like
online when you take
more
full
than
advantage of the rewind ability. He can vary
two
the
people
timing
on
of
the
the
screen.
rewind to mix up his opponent.
I wonder
I
if
just
the
go
the
to-
2v2 is going to be with
Made by his
actual
teammates.
players, people controlling.
And then the right hands.
I feel like
rewind
that
can
might be
also
like
be
a
strong
side
combo
mode.
extender.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm sure you can play
And then there's
1v1
Time
or
Winder,
2v2.
Echo's Time Grenade. Time Winder works great for basic zoning and combos. The real payoff comes when you're able to throw Time Winder from range, giving it a chance to charge up and explode into a time distortion field that slows Echo's opponents for the next few seconds of the match. For both of these moves, our approach is to give you a tool with a clear primary role with lots of potential for extra utility when you use it in the right
Damn.
situation. Now, while gameplay is obviously super important, high-quality netcode is essential for any great fighting game. So this is an area where we're investing big. I'm going to turn it over to Tony,
Netcode.
and he'll walk you through some of our networking foundation.
That should be like the standard for everybody's mindset for every single fighting game that's going to be coming out is netcode.
Yeah.
Like it
Absolutely.
It has to be important because if you can't even connect to people playing from all parts of the world, or let's say even of the region, people are just not going to play
Netcode has been a top of mind topic in the FGC for the past year, especially since we haven't been
That's pretty much it. They just talk about netcode. They're giving the breakdown of what it's going to be. Yeah, the dudes got it together for sure. If they're looking at that point, man.
And they definitely can too, like after all that league money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100%. So
can get done.
I know Nugget had asked us, what gets you into the best state of your mind when it comes to like fighting games? You know, for me, what I do is I think about, like, if I'm in the moment at the current time, if I can verbally speak out loud and say, oh, look, he's getting hit by this. Oh, I got hit by this. I got to stop doing this. If I can verbally speak out what I'm thinking and it helps with myself processing better as well. That's one way for me for sure. But outside of that, just barely getting into fighting, I have to warm up for at least 30, 45 minutes. Honestly, I kid you not. I need to warm up because if I don't, my hands are just not what they need to be. Jimenez, what gets you into the best state? Yeah, playing.
Best state? Probably doing some warm-up matches, like probably like an hour before, like let's say if I have a tournament, probably doing some warm-up matches an hour before, and personally with like a player that will push me, right? That is the idea, right? Let's say it's like last minute and I don't have time to like really warm up, then I'll just just warm up my my B&Bs and stuff like that. I'll practice some hard execution combos, and that's about it really. But yeah, I don't like warming up for too long either, right? Because I feel like at that point I'm like fatigued from making so many decisions, right? So there's like a balance to it for sure.
Nugget, how do you get in the best state of playing if you're going into a tournament or something that's meaningful?
First, I think, I don't know, like when you guys said you guys put in that extra effort, I was like, oh, flip. I think I'm too lazy about it.
So what's your approach?
Kind of like, I really just, I think mentally I'm thinking about like let's say if something like a tourney is gonna come up, or maybe I gotta play somebody for a set or something. I'm like, all right, okay, who is this guy? Do I know this guy? Do I not know this guy? I'm like, and then I'm like, and then because of the few characters that I play, I'm like, well, do I want to like, am I feeling like this, or should I approach it like that? And I sort of just kind of, I might for like a warm up or something beforehand, I might like into a casual or a rank to just kind of get the feel of like if I'm actually in a match.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I try to like, if I maybe know who that person's gonna play as, I might just like throw in the training mode dummy, and then just kind of like run like a few random like situations that I know that character does, that puts you in. And I'll just be like, all right, well, this is what I usually do. This is what they might do, and I think, and then I'm just kind of getting ready to just face whoever, and then also, I think I just try to click if I want to like really be all in for it, or just kind of like I try to. The biggest thing I think is just to calm myself down so I feel relaxed. Like I feel the best when.
So yours is more mental
laying out
than physically. Huh? You're just more mentally preparing versus physically preparing.
Yeah, see, I think so. Yeah,
mine is that's big. That's huge, honestly. If you're like mentally like there, not worried about anything and stuff like that, just playing your game.
Yeah,
super important.
I agree. I know for me, if my hands aren't right, my execution is going to be pretty crappy. When it comes to like reactional, like DP stuff, or getting my hands literally warmed up to kind of react to things. If my mind can be there, but if my hands aren't, I'm shit.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I see. Yeah, I guess I could see it now better. Is that like I'm like like maybe I'll do like a few combos here and there like in the training mode as well. Yeah. But it'll still be like if I'm not like thinking stably the whole match, then like I'm gonna fumble on those. So like I'm just like, as long as I just kind of feel like how I am when I think I'm doing good, then I'll be all right. Yeah. And then just like maybe sometimes I point out like a little bit of my weaker areas, like if I'm like an anti-air or maybe like a corner situation, like if I go for like a throw or something, and if they try to jump out or whatever,
Yeah.
like I might just think about the situations where I'm weak at, and I'm like, all right, let me just like see if any of that comes to play, and yeah, just kind of like that.
So moving on to the next one, the next topic that we got in our discussion is, do y'all think other games affect how we play Street Fighter Five? Do you think that, and it doesn't matter if it's fighting games or not, it could be just Elden Ring or any other game that you play. Do y'all think outside of Street Fighter, playing other games affects your abilities in Street Fighter?
I think there's a balance to it personally. It depends on how you're playing those other games, what other games are you playing, and what are your goals with those other games, right? Versus what are your goals with Street Fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think how I'm viewing your question at least is do you think spending too much time on other games makes you like not as good in Street Fighter? That's kind of like how I'm viewing your question right now, right?
Yeah.
And I want to take, let's look at Punk for example, right? Like, he was known as like the best player in NA or even the world, really, right? For Street Fighter. But now he's not really performing all that well, and it's because he's, more focused on, playing other games. Like, he's competing, if I'm not mistaken, he's competing in Guilty Gear as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, taking time away to be good at that game, right? You can't do both of them really like that. Right, I felt like if he was gonna stick to one game, right? If he didn't play Guilty Gear, I really do think Punk would definitely be like top 1 right now. He would be in top 8 in Combo Breaker right now if he didn't commit so much time to like Guilty Gear or other games like that.
Now, first I just want to say thank you to my homie Fools. I've known him for quite a while, like 7 years, something like that. We've been playing FIFA online many years ago. So thank you so much for the subs, man. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you for the gifted. From my standpoint, let's say like, okay, we have the amount of time that we have, whether it's years or months or whatever long it is that we have invested in Street Fighter, of our characters that we know, of the matchups that we know, et cetera, et cetera. If I guess it's best translated to, if you go to another game, play that game for a month or two seriously, do you think coming back to Street Fighter will help you in a sense of it maybe expanding your mind or learning more about yourself that's going to help in game on Street Fighter? And I definitely think it does, because I know myself for sure when it came to me playing Elden Ring, because for a while I was playing Elden Ring for a hot little minute, wanted to kind of see how far I could get. I didn't get no far at all, but I did like playing it, and it was fun. Taking a new approach to a game, an RPG game that I've never really like truly invested any time in like that, except for Shenmue way back in the day on Dreamcast and Xbox One. But playing a game like that again, and then coming back to Street Fighter, it helped me with my understanding of like, okay, patience, because in that game you have to wait for the boss opponent or whoever you're playing to throw out their move before you can parry it or avoid it or jump over it, whatever the case is. So you have to be very, very patient. And coming back to Street Fighter, I'm like, oh shit, you know what? I need to be more patient in my approach of the people that I'm playing, and leveling up in that regard. So for me, it definitely helped me be able to slow down my mind, my hands to kind of just have a more relaxed approach and a more disciplined approach versus kind of going and kind of doing my thing that I regularly do, autopilot bullshit, I guess you could say. But it definitely helped me be more passive and more disciplined and more mindful of what I was doing. Nugget, what you think? How you think going to another game, let's say right now and at this day, what is it, May, whatever the fuck it is, May 29th. Do you think if you play another game for a month or so, do you think that would help you come back to Street Fighter and be a better, have a better understanding of it?
I think as long as it's not like Dragon Ball Fighters or something, then I'm sure I'd be fine. Like, but I've seen the way that Street Fighter has acted when I play other fighting games. Like where I'd think I'd be more like how you said with, I think, like being patient and just kind of like waiting. Like I feel like Street Fighter, there's definitely a lot of waiting and slowed downness, like you're kind of just moving, and sometimes you might just like barely move forward, or you're holding block and you're waiting for something to happen. And I think that like that really just makes me like I didn't realize it a lot for other games, but I think it worked well when I went from like Street Fighter to Guilty Gear. I think I played Guilty Gear a lot better than I thought I would play it. And then when I came back to Street Fighter, I felt I like the high pacedness of Guilty Gear, but I also started to understand like maybe some like general like fundamentals that I might have been missing in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I might like compare something to the play style of Street Fighter and maybe like how something is. I think one of the things that I always think about is just the connection, like for certain games. So I'm always like, man, I like this just feels like so heavenly.
So
and then I get back and I'm like, dang it, bro.
I want to, before I kind of go touching on what another thing that I learned for myself, I want to kind of comment or read a comment from Yamcha saying, other games affect different skills you learn. They take time away, but you can learn some stuff, and it can be helpful when you don't spend too much time on other games, for sure. And then he says, for example, when I started really getting into Guilty Gear, I learned a lot about offense with punishes, reads, and taking calculated risks. This helped a lot in Street Fighter, which I can definitely see. And I can definitely say the same thing for myself, because when I was playing Mortal Kombat heavily from 2019 to January 2021, I was playing without as much fundamentals as I have learned since then. And so playing Street Fighter from January 2021 up until now, and going back to Mortal Kombat, I noticed myself playing a certain style at a level above when I first was playing Mortal Kombat, simply because of the stuff that I learned in Street Fighter. And then going back to my character that I mained, I didn't really have to change anything. I didn't have to learn anything new. It's just a matter of, oh, this is what I learned in other games, and now let me apply it to this game, and it actually definitely helped me. So it's definitely a matter of, in my opinion, like expanding your mind to other games to help with broadening your understanding overall of fundamentals, because I think that's kind of what it boils down to. I don't think any one of us play a gimmicky style. You can maybe say Sagat can be played gimmicky, but I try to play as much neutral as possible with him. But when it comes to, like I said, going back to Mortal Kombat, I'm doing things that I definitely wasn't doing in the times when I first heavily played Mortal Kombat. So it definitely helped me out for sure.
Yeah.
Jimenez, you got anything else? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I definitely feel like Street Fighter is that game that helps you, like, with those fundamentals. I remember I picked up Guilty Gear Strive when it first came out, right? Just because I wanted to really like take a look at the netcode and stuff like that, right? And yeah, I kind of went in that game with a Street Fighter mindset, right? Like, I'm just gonna learn a simple B&B and then learn how to anti-air. And that's what I did, and I got to like floor 10 like that, just by knowing one combo and learning how to anti-air, right? And I was able to get in for free on a lot of these Guilty Gear players, because a lot of them don't have their anti-airs down, right? Even though it's literally just forward and a button, like I'm still getting in for free regardless, right? But I'm stopping their offense by just simply anti-airing them.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I think once you start learning certain things from a fundamental standpoint, it definitely can translate over to other games. But those other paces of the other games help you, and overall, just in general, I definitely say. And even so, like I said, myself outside of fighting games, it definitely helped playing other games like Elden Ring to work on and be mindful of myself. Oh, I got to be patient. I got to be mindful. I got to be thinking about what's going on instead of just kind of doing regular old bullshit. So. Moving on to our last topic of the night. Who is the best character stage or theme in Street Fighter V that y'all think of? And
that's a tough one.
For me, I'm going to have to say Kage. I just know the song, the stage I'm not sure of, but the theme of it is like super cool for me, the song. It sounds pretty cool. I think his stage is the one that has like thunder, lightning on like grassy bullshit, right?
Yeah.
That one's pretty cool stage too. But for me, I kind of associate it him more with his song, I guess, more than anything.
Some of the stages have their own themes that are really good. Honestly, like I feel like we should split them up into two categories, like favorite character theme and then favorite stage theme.
Okay, well then yeah, go for it like that. I don't know the difference. I'm not sure which characters, except for maybe Laura's. I know she has that like kind of like Brazilian background with like the, I guess, underpass or whatever going on one side and the opposite side something else. Who would you say then, Jimenez, is your two character theme and stage theme that you like?
That's a tough one. I have a whole bunch of favorites, right? In fact, I even posted a tier list on one of the channels like a while ago, right?
Oh, really?
It was like
I
no
remember that one.
And man, it's tough. I love a whole bunch of themes, right? I'd have to probably give it to, man, this is tough. Probably Alex. I just love how jazzy it sounds, really. I love Alex's theme.
I don't think I've heard it.
For stage theme, I have to give it to.
Damn, I gotta look at the stages real quick.
I will say this: the new stage that came out, Ring of Arcade, that one has a really good song tied to it. I think I'd put that as my favorite stage theme.
My Nugget, what's your favorite? I guess maybe character theme and then maybe stage theme.
I like the stage one that I like. I think is that which one is it? The castle.
Oh, I know which one I'm talking about. Yeah,
the Zaku Castle. That one's pretty nice, and also the manor. I think I like those too, but mostly the castle because somehow I end up on there a lot when I'm playing people, and I'm just like, all right, this feels Street Fighter. And the character one, I think for me it's like between Cody and G. Like that's really the only reason I play them. Like I just like the vibes that they give off. Like they're very dynamic. I think like it's weird because Cody's like he's like bland, but he's got something spicy on him. Yeah, and I'm just like it works out somehow. Like it just cancels out. So, but like G, every time he walks into the stage, I just feel so flashy. Like and he's got the music in the back, and it's just there's someone's here. It doesn't make you feel like it's just this guy.
That's personally why I play Fong as a secondary because I love his theme. Like his theme, I feel like it's a really underrated theme. I think he's a funny character first, but the main reason why I play him is just to listen to his theme while I play. Really.
Yeah,
that's just me though.
If I can say properly character theme, I'd go with Kage. I like him overall, his song and then his style. And then stage theme, I would say Sagat stage theme. I actually like that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's good.
Classic looking type deal. But those are what I would do. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's gonna wrap up our podcast for this evening. Unless you guys have anything else that you'd want to talk about real quick off the rip.
I'm good.
Actually, well, I mean, I was still thinking about that the games in SF5. I just thought about well, yeah, we kind of were talking about SF5 to other games, right, and back and forth.
Yeah, either way, yeah, either coming to Street Fighter or going to other games and coming back to Street Fighter.
I was remembering that what was that? Like when you guys were talking about Street Fighter as a game that kind of like it's sort of like that building block, like cornerstone,
Yeah.
Like it's a solid foundation for things. And like it made sense, like when Jimenez was talking about how he just went up to like floor 10 in Guilty Gear Strive, and like I remember because I played Nago, so like he felt really Street Fighter to me.
Yeah, I did. I played him as well. Yeah.
And he's just he's got these he's like a mix of different like whatever, and he's also kind of like technical, but it like when you're playing Street Fighter, it's sort of like you're kind of leveling up like it feels like you're leveling up like yourself like at like a low level, and then when it comes to to Strive, it was like oh all your stats like went crazy because like. Now you're playing with characters that can just do whatever with like the easiest like range of motion. Like I didn't like it was also like what they were talking about in the Project L thing that we were watching. Like you have it's like it's easy to do but hard to master. You know, but like after I think also from playing Street Fighter to get to just Diamond and then put all what I've learned from Diamond to like Guilty Gear, it felt like I understood so much.
Yeah.
Compared to if I just started playing Guilty Gear, if I was like Silver, I'd be like, "Yo, what's going on?" I would have been at like 4 or 6.
And I still think the games are different enough that you have a lot to learn because there's like air dashes and double jumps and all that bullshit that Guilty Gear has, which I don't even fucking know about. Like I've never played an anime fighter like that. So for me going into it, I'm like a very ground based, player. I haven't even played online, but even just playing against the fucking I don't use any of that shit with air dashes or any of that stuff. So that would just be like a whole new thing. But I could maybe take away like, okay, playing with let's say Nago, because I don't think he has the best jump, if I'm not mistaken. I think he has a pretty crappy jump. Unless they change them in the time that he's been around.
I think his jump it's okay. His super jump's actually pretty good.
Because serviceable.
He has one where you press down and up and then whatever direction, right? And that's it. That's for his like super jump.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have like an air dash, from what I remember.
Yeah, no regular dash, no air dash.
So that kind of like almost forces him to kind of play grounded, which it's okay because that's how I want to play anyways. But I never try to play online because I'm just like, I'm gonna get cooked. I'm gonna get my ass whooped in this shit.
You'd be surprised. Honestly, like I mentioned, I learned a B&B anti-air because of Street Fighter. I learned how to meaty like properly, so that's all I needed, bro. Like if I ever got Oki, I'd just meaty every single time. I played Potemkin, right? So I'd mix it up between meaty strike or command grab, right?
Wow.
And that was that really.
Yeah,
especially with the what's it called, the RC cancels and stuff. Like it's basically like a free Kage V trigger where you could make it like you could do something dumb and then you can get out of it, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I've never explored much with those things, but I guess we could wrap it up for this episode, guys. Thank you again, as always, for coming through and hanging out and knocking out another episode with me. We'll definitely come up with more topics for next episode.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Of course.
Absolutely, yeah.
Of course. All right, fellas. Well, we'll catch up later. I'm going to turn off the stream for a hot second before I get back into the gaming, so that way I can download this episode, put it up in YouTube so people can kind of look back to it whenever. But I'll be right back, guys. And thank you again for tuning in.